the future of Jesus bringing his kingdom here on earth, and we get to be co-heirs, co-rulers with him over the universe. But that responsibility and reward is only entrusted to people who live faithfully. And that means getting with it now.
Okay, so I'm reading I'm mentoring somebody, and I'm rereading with them Morgan Stanley's book, Becoming a King. And the second chapter is all on sonship. Like how if we want to be kings, we want to be good fathers, we need to be great sons as well. So I love your answer because it's honest and real. And my question to you is, you answer however you want, but I think one reason us fathers might not feel like we're embracing fatherhood is that we don't feel like we were ever invited into manhood or invited into, being a father. So how can I take someone through a rite of passage if I haven't been through one myself? So with that, obviously if guys are listening to this, they're investing in themselves, they're seeking, they're wanting. So do you feel that 3 years ago, there was this I'm just going to make something up. There was this I did all this MDMA in Mexico and was able to process this, or was it more of a it's time to just decide that I'm going to be who I need to be? It's still a journey, but I'm going to decide Sean's a man now and Sean's a father, and I'm going to serve this family that was entrusted to me. Those are kind of extreme opposites. For you, where does it land?
Yeah. Well, the book you mentioned, Becoming a King, Morgan Snyder.
Okay. Radical.
I read that book. And that, I think, I'm not going to exaggerate. I would say that it just kind of rescued my soul from spiritual doldrums where there was no wind blowing. I had sought a lot of wisdom and perspective, resources. I need freaking resources and weapons and tools to be able to live life. And I was just looking everywhere for that. I think a lot in self-improvement, a lot in the well-being school, which I even, have had work and contracts in there. And it's so hard to really find robust well-being outside of Jesus. I even go out on a limb and say that that's not possible. And so what really captured my heart was I began to experience truths about Jesus in a way that the seed actually went deep into the soil of my heart and started growing. And Morgan's vision for a man's life, which is, he says the goal is to become the kind of person that can be entrusted with creative power in God's future kingdom. And I just realized that is so true to the narrative arc of the Bible. That's what God wants to build in me. I think one of the most compelling and exciting ideas that is the future of Jesus bringing his kingdom here on earth, and we get to be co-heirs, co-rulers with him over the universe. But that responsibility and reward is only entrusted to people who live faithfully. And that means getting with it now, living into union with Jesus now. And so all of that is what began to coalesce in my heart, in large thanks to Morgan Snyder, one of the most influential voices in my life. And God brought the wind to my heart again.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So I had Morgan on my podcast to talk about this book probably in 2019, early 2020. And so it's been a beautiful influence. But the way that sentence in particular is in the first couple chapters. And so I was talking about it on a podcast the other day. But I don't want to say it's missing from his book, but your book paired with that concept of God is looking for men he can entrust. This idea that your body is a gift, so steward it well. I don't think big picture is taught by the church. No shame on the church, whatever. But it's very easy for us Christian Americans to allow food to be this we just all accept that we're fat and not in shape. It's just that's okay, right? Because I don't look at porn, I don't drink excessively, I'm married, so we allow that to still make us disconnected from our opportunity. So anyways, I think your book pairs perfectly with those sentences. Yeah, so good. Okay, so you embrace fatherhood. What do you believe the role of the father is?
Mm. Yeah, I think it starts with being fathered, allowing
Mm-hmm.
ourselves to be fathered by God, experiencing a new secure attachment with Jesus where we feel seen, safe, soothed. And out of that secure attachment, only from there do we really develop the bandwidth to be able to give and receive love, and form secure attachments with our children. Instead of, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the attachment science. I'm going to guess somewhat.
Little bit, not a lot.
But yeah, I mean, the way I always explain it is like a thermostat
Mm.
in our hearts. Like from the moment we emerge from the womb, our brain is hardwired by two things
Mm-hmm.
neurobiologically. First is what we pay attention to, and second is our closest relationships. And that those downloads that we start receiving literally create the neural architecture that view how we view the world and how we think about relationships. And those that view of the world, that thermostat can be broken down into an attachment style that is characteristic of how we relate to people, either avoidant or chaotic, or these different pieces. The goal is secure attachment,
Mm.
and I think that's Jesus brings us back into that, the ability to be secure with Him, give and receive love there. Then, as I'm receiving all that goodness from who God is, I have the ability to then go try to be a good earthly father to my kids. So that's how I think about that.
Mm. Love it. Beautiful. As you think about your years of fathering, what's something that you were maybe stuck in your ways on? You thought it was one way, and then you have made some shifts. You're married, you have kids, you have like 5 other opinions in a sense in your house. So here's a silly one for me. I was anti-dog forever, just anti-dog, stupidest decision you can make. It's a waste of money. It's just a waste of time to have a dog. And I realized as I've been doing my own self-reflection this past year that was an area where it was a my way, and this is just my way, and there was no caving on it. And I realized for me, I needed to let go of that so that the world revolved less around Ned. So we have a dog now. He's growing on me.